In 2010, inside a large stadium in North Korea, a 16-year-old boy was brought out in a wheelchair before an audience of 10,000 spectators. The boy's mother sat weeping amidst the crowd. At that very moment, 3 North Korean soldiers fired 9 rounds into the boy with machine guns. Witnessing this brutal spectacle, the entire audience in the stands fell silent for a time, frozen in fear. Yet, immediately thereafter, everyone began to applaud. However, there was one woman in the stadium who was clapping while weeping, and that woman was the boy's mother. But the question remains, what was this boy's crime? In truth, his only offense was that he had listened to K-pop, that is, South Korean music. With a population of approximately 26 million, North Korea stands as one of the most isolated nations on Earth, a place where the imposition of the death penalty is a common practice. North Korea shares its borders with 3 distinct nations, Russia, China, and South Korea. Consequently, many North Koreans frequently attempt to cross these borders and flee, seeking liberation from what amounts to an open-air prison. In 2017, a 24-year-old woman, accompanied by her young son, reached the Chinese border in an attempt to escape North Korea. She believed she had finally succeeded in breaking free from the hellish existence of North Korea. However, all her joy was shattered in an instant, for immediately upon entering China, local authorities apprehended her and handed her back over to North Korean soldiers. In reality, an agreement exists between China and North Korea. If any North Korean fugitive crosses into China, the Chinese authorities are bound to return them to North Korean custody. Upon capturing the young woman, North Korean soldiers subjected both her and her child to merciless torture before killing them. Their bodies were then dismembered and publicly displayed in a public square, a gruesome deterrent intended to instill such terror that no one else would dare to commit such an offense. Due to this country's isolation, news from within its borders rarely reaches the outside world. Nevertheless, some reports do occasionally leak out, and hearing these stories is enough to make anyone feel as though the ground has shifted beneath their feet. For instance, 200 North Korean citizens were recently executed. The majority of them were teenagers. Their sole crime? They had listened to K-pop music, specifically the group BTS. This is because the supreme leader, Kim Jong Un, views South Korean culture as a vicious cancer. Consequently, citizens have been sternly warned to steer clear of South Korean fashion, music, products, and makeup. In 2020, a law was even enacted stipulating that any North Korean citizen found engaging with South Korean entertainment would face the death penalty. In reality, Kim fears that exposure to South Korean or Western culture will foster a revolutionary mindset among his citizens, potentially leading them to rise up in opposition to him in the future. According to Oh Se-hyuk, a defector who fled North Korea, authorities frequently carry out public executions in large stadiums, much like in the Middle Ages, to punish offenders. This practice is intended to instill a profound sense of terror among the populace, serving as a stark warning that anyone who breaks the rules will face a similar fate. Viewed from the outside, North Korea might appear to be a perfectly normal nation, much like any other. Children attend school, farmers cultivate their fields, and women work in offices or serve as traffic officers. However, if one delves deeper into the country's interior, the dark truth of this nation is laid bare. To the outside world, only a sanitized and idealized image of the country is ever presented. Meanwhile, state-run television channels constantly propagate the narrative that North Korea is the greatest nation on earth, and that their supreme leader, Kim Jong Un, is a godlike figure whom the people are duty-bound to worship. This reverence extends even to photographs of his family, which must be treated with the utmost respect. In 2020, a fire broke out at the home of a woman residing in the town of Onsong, North Korea. Risking her own life, the woman rescued her 2 children from the burning house. Yet even after this incident, she was punished. The question now arises, what was the woman's crime? Well, her only offense was that she saved her children's lives from the fire, but forgot to rescue the portrait of the supreme leader hanging on the wall. In contrast, a neighbor, staking his own life, successfully retrieved the portrait of the country's great leader. The very next day, the media across the nation hailed that neighbor as North Korea's superhero, while the woman was subjected to severe condemnation. The country is home to a network of exclusively government-funded schools dedicated to propagating the history of the Kim family's glorious legacy from early childhood onward. Students in these institutions are taught a fabricated version of North Korean history, specifically how the Kim family single-handedly saved North Korea from the clutches of oppressive nations such as Japan, South Korea, and the United States. Here, students from all academic streams, whether science or arts, are required to sing the praises of the Kim dynasty. Their written assignments must incorporate specific quotes such as, "The great leader, the Honorable Kim Il-sung taught us this," or "The great leader Kim Jong Un bestowed this knowledge upon us." Furthermore, upon returning home from school, students encounter the very same historical narratives on television channels that they were taught in their textbooks. In this manner, their minds are gradually indoctrinated. After 17 years of such brainwashing, every citizen is mandatorily required to enlist in the military for a period of 10 years. For women, this mandatory service begins at the age of 23. However, women of exceptional beauty are often assigned to a specialized military unit known in Korean as the Kipumjo, or in English, the Pleasure Squad. One can likely infer from the name alone the nature of the services these women are compelled to provide to the military establishment. That said, military enlistment is not mandatory for students who achieve high academic scores in the sciences. Instead, based on their specific grades, they are granted admission to university. There, they receive instruction in fields such as hypersonic missile technology, a subject that represents the ultimate aspiration for every North Korean student. Their dream is to grow up and become missile system engineers or specialists in hypersonic technology. Conversely, students who excel in the arts stream typically secure employment within the State Security Department. These individuals are assigned to various posts. For instance, they may serve as security police, conducting covert intelligence operations right within their own neighborhoods. The local residents remain completely oblivious to the fact that their very own neighbor is, in reality, a state security officer secretly relaying incriminating information to the authorities. In 2009, even a 2-year-old child was sentenced to life imprisonment. The child's sole transgression was that a Bible had been discovered in the possession of their parents. For in North Korea, the practice of any religion is deemed a criminal offense, and it was, in fact, a neighbor acting as a covert intelligence officer who had reported this confidential information to the authorities. A curious fact regarding North Korea is that women there tend to earn more money than men. Indeed, women's earnings account for approximately 70% of the household income. However, the funds they acquire are typically obtained through illicit means. When it comes to men, opportunities exist in the military as permanent soldiers or within the State Security Department. These positions happen to be the highest paying jobs available in the country. In other sectors, the average monthly salary stands at around $3 to $4, equivalent to roughly 200 to 300 rupees in Indian or Bangladeshi currency. Notably, the cost of a single sack of rice here is also close to 200 to 300 rupees. This means that even after working for an entire month, people struggle to adequately provide for their meals. However, the plight of citizens working in factories or agricultural fields is even more dire. After a full month of labor, they manage to earn a mere 80 to 150 rupees. Just imagine how people manage to survive on such meager earnings. A soldier who defected from North Korea revealed that, in the army, their daily ration consisted of a single bowl containing a mixture of 30% rice and 70% cornmeal, accompanied by a bowl of salad, soybean soup, and radishes. Consequently, he too resorted to selling personal belongings on the black market just to purchase food for himself. According to a United Nations report, an adult requires 600 grams of food per day. However, the North Korean government distributes only 400 grams of food per person. In 2019, due to poor harvests, this ration was further reduced to just 300 grams per person. As a result of this severe food shortage, many impoverished citizens survive by making soup out of grass or by eating insects. Curiously, however, tobacco and alcohol are remarkably cheap in North Korea. A pack of cigarettes costs a mere 8 cents, equivalent to just 5 rupees in Indian currency. The cheapest alcoholic beverage available, known as koling, costs 25 rupees in Indian currency. Yet even this remains unaffordable for the majority of North Koreans. Consequently, they resort to illegally brewing their own alcohol at home, using potatoes and corn, which they then consume much like a soft drink. Interestingly, the government does not place much emphasis on cracking down on this illegal homebrewing of alcohol. However, they strictly and ruthlessly suppress activities such as listening to BTS music or reading the Bible. In essence, you are free to destroy your own liver here, but you are forbidden from listening to a BTS song. Even if one mocks the government while under the influence of alcohol, they face severe punishment. For this reason, citizens here typically sit at home and drink while listening to patriotic songs on television. According to a report, 1 to 2 members from every North Korean family are currently detained in labor camps. Moreover, the conditions of life for prisoners within these labor camps are even more horrific than hell itself. Approximately 150,000 to 200,000 offenders are incarcerated across various prison camps throughout the country. Their children are also held captive alongside them. From dawn till dusk, they are compelled to perform grueling labor in mining and construction sectors. Due to the complete absence of legal safeguards, the mental and physical torture of women and children is a routine occurrence. The prisoners here are afforded no rights or regulations of their own. Instead, guards arbitrarily fabricate rules on a daily basis, and any violation of these rules is punishable by death. Steal something, and the penalty is death. Attempting to escape carries the death penalty. Furthermore, even if someone attempts to flee and you witness it but fail to report it, you too will be sentenced to death. A former prisoner who escaped from North Korea to the United States revealed that he was born inside just such a camp. Having grown up within the confines of this camp since childhood, he was completely unaware that a world existed beyond the prison walls. He knew nothing but hunger and pain. He further added that, in this place, the very concepts of love and family are non-existent. He recounted an incident where, right before his eyes, a fellow prisoner was bound hand and foot and suspended over a blazing fire until he perished. His sole crime was stealing food. Yet, as he watched the man being tortured, he felt absolutely no emotion whatsoever. On another occasion, his own brother and mother were executed right in front of him. Yet, even after witnessing this, he felt no sorrow. He simply reasoned, all I knew was that they had broken the rules, and therefore they were being punished. Moreover, to maintain a steady workforce within these camps, a system of arranged marriages has been established to ensure the production of future generations. However, the partners in these unions are selected exclusively by the guards. The matchmaking process is starkly simple. From this day forward, you two are husband and wife. And just like that, their marriage is sealed. Friends, after hearing all this, would you still wish to live in North Korea? Please let us know in the comments section below. There were once only 6 possible routes for escaping North Korea. However, the government has since sealed off every single one of them. That is all for today. For now, I bid you farewell. We shall meet again in the next episode.